It's obvious. The case for crypto, the case for privacy really is obvious now. The choice of Zcash, Monero, AIntivirus over anything else. Welcome to the world of Skynet, privacy. Miami PD rolled out RoboCop today. Robo police vehicle with a drone. So, privacy, right, was supposed to be a big theme. This was supposed to be the accumulation theme. And you know what? It still may be the accumulation phase for some gigantic monster rally to happen in the fourth quarter of this year and next year. Remember October? Yeah, October is happening in coins you don't understand, coins you don't like, and coins that are hard to buy. In this case, they're not hard to buy because they're on Coinbase, but if you look at the Dashes and the Zcashes of the world, they're sitting right there on Coinbase, and they're considered Dino coins. I mean, I remember my first altcoin pick when I went to work in altcoins in 2019 was Dash. And I was absolutely right. I was just 5 years early. I mean, but you can't argue with the price action in Zcash, right? I mean, you get these huge run-ups. You get these kind of like, major end of trend style waves. And then if it corrects like what it's doing right now and doesn't go down, guess what? Now, Zcash will teach you to buy every dip in crypto. Like, today's a green day in crypto. It'll be fine. If there's another red day in crypto, guess what? You better get active. Like, we are all students at Zcash University, right? Zcash is teaching you what Bitcoin was like in 2013, 2015, or 2017, where it was what's 20 to 30% between friends. I mean, where do you think the upside targets are going to be in Zcash? If this continues, right? 400, 900, that's what we had in our first roadmap, right? Our first deep dive. And I just released the video that all of our YouTube members got before this exploded. I just put that out for free because Patreon has a revised Zcash roadmap with 3 scenarios. It has base case, banana zone, and insane. And you will be able to tell by looking at the Zcash price whether we're in base case, banana zone, or insane. Patreon Platinum got this. I will give the 6th Street crypto crowd a briefing as best I can. What I want to use these 3 levels for in Zcash, it's almost like support and resistance, right? Like base case is support. Banana zone could be like your pivot. If it's above the pivot, buy it. If it's below the pivot, wait. And then insane could be resistance. Now, of course, I can't tell you the path that Zcash takes in each scenario. Naturally, that's for the customers. But I think it's pretty clear that Zcash is Bitcoin with privacy and all kinds of other features like cross-chain, DeFi. I mean, Zcash has all kinds of slick videos as to what this is. This is why I was into it for 3 years. I remember trying to get permission from my boss to try to go to the Zcash conference that they had, which of course now they would have to have in a small arena. This was a bunch of guys who are developers. And I just was like, hey, someone explain to me how the privacy aspect of this works. Just absolutely insane how valuable it is. And again, as we discussed yesterday, there are so many crypto catalysts, right? You have this major leading ongoing sector. This is like DeFi in 2020. Privacy is like DeFi in 2020. It is going to lead the bull market as everyone sits around and goes, what's going on? What's this coin? Someone's looking at Rail. I saw somebody Rail over here. Yeah, man. Rail was a GAN coin and a Toby coin. It was definitely a Toby coin. She picked it out of Banter Bubbles, right? I mean, most likely some of these smaller privacy coins are in like take profit mode, or at least consolidation mode, you think, right? But Zcash is a monster. Like if I had bought a privacy coin like Rail, just telling you right now, if I had trade location on any of this stuff, like I told Patreon very specifically in their roadmap, 145 to 160 was the first support, and the juicy land was 120 to 130. I think the low was 128, and it was gone. Right? That may be the way it is in privacy. So, yeah, you can take some money. You can take some money, but you better leave a robust moon bag. And if you're taking money, the first thing you're doing, which is what I'm going to be doing all weekend, is figuring out where you buy all this stuff. And again, AIntivirus hasn't moved yet. Right? The thing no one understands, no one likes, and everyone hates, which probably, I guess, at this point is AIntivirus, except for me, Janice McAfee, and the guy running McAfee's Twitter feed that has 1 million followers. You just wait. Just wait. It's 3 million market cap on this thing with a full suite of privacy products. They're moving anything related to privacy, railgun, just huge moves. Some of that stuff, it's kind of funny. It's like, if we're going to talk about this, because the reason to stay with the market update is I can tell you 3 unbelievable things with 3 tweets. So I probably should have said that earlier, but I can make the case for crypto in a very epic way. But it is kind of funny with privacy, because now Zcash is like the new Bitcoin, right? And probably Monero is the new Ethereum. So when you make money in the small privacy coins, you're immediately rolling them into Monero, which is on Kraken, or you're rolling it into Zcash. And, I haven't even figured out what to do with Dash or Litecoin yet. I'm too busy, going with the Zcash flow, because that was a top pick I had a long time ago and got laughed at. Thing went dormant, and now it's off to the races. I mean, I have no problem saying, first I had no problem saying Zcash is going to 1,000. I had no problem saying that when it was crazy. Now I have no problem saying Zcash is going to 10,000. Zcash go to 10,000. I mean, they can solve the scaling issue with some sort of proof of work, proof of stake hybrid. I'm not a plumbing blockchain. I'm a blockchain. I'm not a blockchain plumbing guy. But if they could ever scale Zcash, forget about it. It would be top 3. And I don't know why they can't push the valuation of that. I mean, we gave it to you in a short video. It's going to be released later, but Zcash and XRP, right? Everyone gave up on XRP. Everyone packed it in. And of course, nobody even understood Zcash. Nobody even knows what is going on here. No one understands it. Everyone's seeing Zcash, Dash, R, the pirate coin, Railgun, all of these things just flying. There's no seller. Who's the seller of Zcash? The project? There's no seller. There's massive liquidity, all the hedge funds, retail supposedly out of the market. Yeah, not anymore, bro. Not anymore. Retail's probably got to jump on the hedge funds because retail knows about the small privacy coins. I mean, if you were listening to us, Toby was telling you, accumulate privacy in Q4, and privacy will be even bigger next year. So, you want to take some trading profits, trade some trading profits, but this is BTFD as far as I'm concerned. Whatever. Because you know what? This is the mentality that you had to have with Bitcoin. I was like, well, I wish I was back in the day with Bitcoin. I could have bought it at whatever. Yeah. Well, Bitcoin had 20 different ways of shaking you out. And you know who made money? The guys who are I'm buying every dip. You know who made money in NVIDIA? Netflix, Microsoft. They just bought every dip. You want to take it down 10%? Buy more. If I take it down 20%, I'll buy even more. Because it's not going lower. You know, it's going up. It's basically, the attitude is it's going up forever. That doesn't mean you're not going to have strong price dips. Like, for example, if the market recovers over the next 48 hours, Zcash may dip. Right? I mean, Zcash made this huge euphoric high overnight, and then it comes off. And then you just find a chart point, or you get yourself a roadmap in Patreon Platinum. You can put your Zcash roadmap together with your Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana roadmap, and I'll be updating the group regularly. And just from a common sense point of view, if you can't afford that, it's BTFD. It's on. Like, October is on, and everyone's standing around like nothing's happening. These sectors, these niche sectors, again, like DeFi in 2020, like the Solana memes in 2023 and 2024, they lead the market. Last year with the election, it was the American-made cryptos. It was XRP, Algorand, Hedera, right? It was BlackRock pushing that Bitcoin ETF. Leading indicators, right? Bull Runner noting Grayscale has a Zcash. I don't know if it's an ETN. They have a Zcash product. They have a Zcash product for equities. They've had it forever. And I don't know if Zcash is also in a separate AI bucket. I also saw something on a Zcash promotional video that they have like a connection to Near. No one knows how to do this trade. How long do you think it's going to take for the people in stonks when Zcash prints 1,000 to go, oh, wait, oh, wow, what is this Zcash thing? Oh, it's like a kind of Bitcoin, except it's cheap. What, you think retail's going to sit around and go, you know what, let me read up on ZK Smart, ZK Snark. Let me read up on this before I buy this stock. Yeah, okay. Like half of retail knows anything about what the Magnificent Seven does. You know what I'm saying? Like Toby says this all the time. It's like, oh, I got to stick to the stock market. Do you really understand what goes on in the stock market? Do you understand stock market valuations? You've been to business school? No, of course not. Of course not. They're just going to see this thing moving from bottom left to top right, and it's going to take the whole rest of the market with it. Now, on that note, the payoff for staying, for listening to the, incessant Zcash pump, which is for real. Okay, Altcoin Daily noted a tweet from Documenting Sailor, which is very simple. I don't even need to show you the picture, right? They have visual proof that gold goes up first, and then when gold is done, Bitcoin just rampages to the upside, right? So it's like gold runs first, Bitcoin runs harder. Okay. And that could happen. It could also happen that different forms of Bitcoin could smoke higher. In other words, the Bitcoin ETF is obviously over-owned, right? Everyone's already bought it. So where's the new buying pressure coming from? Sailor can't buy any more Bitcoin. He had to borrow money to pay the interest on the securities he issued to buy the Bitcoin. So he's done. BlackRock's bought all the Bitcoin. What is Bitcoin? I mean, Bitcoin is going up, but everyone is long Bitcoin and talking about it going to $1 million. Meanwhile, Dash, Litecoin, ETH, XRP, Zcash, no one wants to touch it. No one wants to touch it until everyone changes their mind and the object in motion stays in motion. Gold goes first, and Bitcoin, parentheses, or any other altcoin or any other form of Bitcoin, for God's sake. Zcash is private Bitcoin with a white paper signed by Edward Snowden. Hence, I'm into it. I was at a giant speech with, Edward Snowden on a video screen going, what is wrong with Bitcoin developers not putting a privacy feature in Bitcoin? This Zcash thing could improve the entire ecosystem. ETH is talking about putting in privacy. Everybody's going to have to start talking about putting in privacy because, as I've said ad nauseum on this show, you are never going to do a transaction in the metaverse. Skynet will never do transactions that everybody can just read on the blockchain. It's like, oh, look, Skynet, Skynet bought an altcoin today, like the way they watch World Liberty. Yeah, that's not happening in the future. Machines are not doing that. And when we have to interact machines with machines, we're not doing that. I mean, everything is bugged. I mean, think about it, right? Just think about, listen to this guy. This is the guy from Telegram, the guy that founded Telegram that got picked up by the French. I'm turning 41, but I don't feel like celebrating. Our generation is running out of time to save the free internet built for us by our fathers. What was once the promise of free exchange of information is being turned into the ultimate tool of control, followed by a few paragraphs of describing what, Western democracies are currently doing if you make the wrong post on social media. Not to mention the whole CBDC thing, right? The antivirus community, Janice McAfee, John McAfee, whose life you can read about on TikTok in his own words. They have got cartoon videos of his life story on the website. They built a DEX, and just for a little comedy, one of the guys was tweeting about how much volume they're doing on this private eSIM, like buy the SIM card for your phone, buy it privately and then use the SIM card and they can't see you. Some guy commented that that's not possible, that, we must be some sort of psyop. Dude, it's possible. McAfee invented the privacy narrative. He lived on the run using Monero in 2018. I mean, could you go off bank accounts and go off bank accounts with Bitcoin and Ethereum now? Never mind Monero or Zcash. Could you do it? Well, he did it. So, I mean, yeah, Janice has 125,000 followers, and McAfee's account, because he's not with us anymore, he has 1 million, but, it's a 3 million market cap on the only privacy coin that hasn't rallied. Don't worry, guys, I can wait, because the bigger the base, the higher in the space. I mean, the head of Telegram is telling you, and the market is paying attention now, right? There's that old saying, it doesn't matter until it does. Yeah, well, guess what? It matters now. The market is trading this theme. And if you think it's going to be over in 3 days, you need to recompute. This is not over in 3 days. I mean, some of this stuff might pump and consolidate, but if Zcash doesn't stop, it won't stop. We have been ingrained to have it pump and then just get out. You can do that, but you need to leave a moon bag and you need to be aggressively BTFD. And this includes the whole market. So they want to take Bitcoin up to 124. Today's a green day. Fine. They want to drop it again next week. Whatever. Right? The dips are going to get shallower. I mean, the dips in Zcash, it'll be wild, right? People think they won't get a dip and it'll move in 40% increments, just like Bitcoin did back in the day. Like, just absolutely wild. Especially, like if you can like day trade or swing trade a trend. So it's a momentum trade that has big enough swings to allow day traders and swing traders and trend traders to take advantage of it, which is what crypto was originally. So what's old is new again. I mean, I don't think I could be any more excited. Now, on the FFS front, we have the Dallas Federal Reserve branch writing term papers trying to tell us that whatever is going on with labor market statistics is really just like I don't know, it's got to do with like statistical consistency. They're rebalancing how they look at the labor market. Oh, okay, bro. Okay. You guys have fun with your computer programs and your Python, while the rest of us figure out how to get as far away from you and everything you stand for as humanly possible. The labor market it's a statistical adjustment. Yeah, homie. It's a statistical adjustment if you're eating the free potato chips at work instead of a sandwich. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, this is happening out there for real. And then now CryptoZilla is awake, right? Somebody called it, instead of Megatron, Maybe it's Zegatron for Zcash. Forget about it. The monster is loose. And people who pounded the table on this are going to be vindicated. And again, it's unbelievable because they were giving up on XRP. The despair in retail was palpable, perfect. It literally was the perfect bottom. Everyone out, everyone bearish, everyone depressed. Thank you. Hit the launch button at NASA. Gone. Everyone's going to be looking for an entry point. You better hope the market lets you have it. Sometimes it may be on these intraday dips, hence the value proposition of the roadmaps that I published, because you can look at the price and be like, okay, like I think Zcash is actually where it's supposed to be for today after doing this like 20% rally. So if you get Zcash underneath where it was yesterday, maybe that's a zone to look at. Welcome to the new world, right? You're going to need support, resistance, a chart, and an idea. People haven't had to think in a very long time, right? Now they got to start thinking. Now they got to start putting 2 and 2 together, and they will. Now, an additional slice of macro delight. We have the U.S. Treasury Secretary Besson, a hedge fund guy. That's not a dumb guy, right? 6'5", smart, experienced, running the Treasury. Yeah. Little statement he put out. Besson stated that the U.S. Treasury is ready to take immediate exceptional measures to ensure market stability. This is a quote. This happened yesterday. So I follow this guy out of Asia, and he's like doing his math, and he's connecting the fact that Uncle Sugar is closed with the possibility of an issue with the banks. Like, I don't know if it has to do with the quality of government debt. I don't know what it has to do with. It's got to do with what they call in economics unintended consequences. Now, there's a whole bunch of people on TikTok going, unintended consequences? What is that? Well, that means Uncle Sugar does something, gets involved with the economy, messes with it, and just, there are so many ways Uncle Sugar can mess with it. And then something in the economy can break that they didn't intend to break. So something is wrong out there, right? Like the Japanese elected somebody that says our solution to printing more money is to print more money. And supposedly that person is not going to last very long. So that mess isn't going anywhere. That mess actually got worse. Now, you're probably wondering, what does this have to do with crypto? Well, this has everything to do with crypto. So let me get this straight. Everyone's depressed. It looks like a bottom. Sectors that people don't understand are indiscriminately ripping. Sectors that people don't understand are indiscriminately ripping. The U.S. Treasury Secretary is talking about immediate exceptional measures, aka a bailout, because banks could be in trouble for any number of reasons. Unintended consequences of the shutdown. Boink. Gold and silver. Somebody is short gold and silver. I can't believe I didn't say it this way. Just Dario, as usual, had the language. Who is short silver? Did somebody sell silver, that they didn't have? Normally, when you short sell something like in stocks, you borrow the stock and then you sell it. And then you buy it back and you give the stock back to the person. So, normally you borrow gold and then sell it. Did they skip the borrow part? Did they just go out and get short and, get paper short gold? Or did they a long time ago borrow gold and then dump it to buy stocks, and now they have to buy all their gold back because gold was a rock and they just indiscriminately dumped it? Let's dump that. Let's borrow some gold and dump it. Any way you put it, someone's short, someone has to pay a loan back in gold, right? Banks that are in the middle between, everyone who wants gold. I don't know if they're going to be able to get it. You have banks in the middle. Is there a problem out there, boys? Got a little problem? What's Secretary Besson talking about? Well, your answer is, I don't care what he's talking about. Because if you want to know how Bitcoin gets to 250, which remember was every Tom, Dick, and Harry's year-end target, that's how it gets to 250. because, you have multiple currency problems. You have a leading indicator. You have the documenting sailor altcoin daily chart that's now been seen by the entire planet because Altcoin Daily put it out. Gold first, then Bitcoin. Okay, you've heard that on the show before from me, but now you're hearing it from the big guys. And the Treasury Secretary is essentially telling you that something is wrong. Oh, wow. Yo, and you mean Bitcoin goes up in these environments? Yeah, and ETH goes up all the more. And the Dallas Fed is trying to tell you some story about the payroll number and, where Mr. Powell is relative to, where interest rates should be or what they're going to have to do. They're going to have to turn the page in the playbook to deal with this labor market and stop looking at AI data center construction as a metric for the economy. If you take AI data center construction out of the economic data, we're in a recession. We've been in a recession for 2 years. What better case is there for crypto? In other words, let's pretend you're on TikTok. You just got on TikTok. You're like, okay, I got to figure out what's going on in crypto. Let me give it to you straight. Everything going on in TradFi or legacy is a mirage. It's a mirage. It's fake. The only real thing in the world is the blockchain and crypto and Bitcoin and privacy and DeFi and AI and crypto and layer ones and Web3 and the new version of the internet. Whatever they got going on there is fake, and whatever we got going on in crypto is real. And of course, NEAR is moving, right? Because NEAR is connected to Zcash and, this whole universe. It's called layer ones, which is also a way of saying the internet, right? That's Ethereum, Solana, Avalanche, NEAR. Is one at a time, exactly the way Toby Ward in the YouTube member area told you. Because, folks, it's not like you haven't been told. But for TikTok and YouTube, it's simple. For 10 years, they've been telling you that crypto's fake and their stuff's real. There's no intrinsic value in crypto. There's nothing to back it. Crypto's fake. And guess what, everybody? It's exactly the opposite of what they told you. Imagine that. Imagine Wall Street and Uncle Sugar telling you something that was perhaps not entirely true. Seriously, right? And everyone's bearish in crypto. Did I mention that? Like retail's out, everyone's done, XRP's not going up. Oh, okay. Okay. Do you want to know what happens when people change their mind? Because you know who's going to beat everyone to the punch? The crypto people are bearish, or they're probably going to try to short all these privacy coins, right? Like Eagle King is now pointing out Veil. They're going to try to get short all this stuff because that's what happens. Like, what do traders do when they miss something? They fight it. They fight it. So now traders are looking at the market. They're looking at Zcash and like, well, I can't touch Zcash because I can't get trade location. So I have to wait for Zcash to go down, which is that's not the worst strategy in the world, but most guys are going to try to fight it. And it's like, okay, I have to make myself feel better about missing this. So I'll get short and then it'll go down and then we'll all genuflect and I'll cover my shorts and buy and everything will be fine. Okay. Well, guess what? You fight this thing, you get short, you get run over. That's the lesson of Zcash from 120 to 270. And most likely, that's also the lesson in NEAR from 285 to 315. There are going to be sectors in this market that are just going to start ripping. Toby calls them buckets. I call them sectors. Either way, nobody even in crypto even knows what that is. Like everyone's looking for like the meme coin of the week. Yeah, okay. You had the meme coin of the week or the meme coin of the day on Binance 2 days ago. How did that turn out? Let me guess. All the way up, all the way back down. You were exit liquidity for whales who had been long this stuff, who were probably with the algorithms that were mooning Binance coin, right? Binance coin moons all by itself. Wrong. Hedge funds, algos, take it up. They take it up. It could be CZ, his trading desk. Let's take it up. Let's buy a whole bunch of memes at 1 million market cap. Let's watch them bid it up to 30 million market cap and then unload it on their heads. That's where crypto's brain, the crypto versus brain has been for the last 3 days as whales unload on retail. Meanwhile, basic trades, your Zcash, your Near, your Ethereum, your XRP are just sitting by the side of the road. They're sitting like the most beautiful girl at the dance, just waiting for somebody to come up and say, may I have this dance? Believe it or not, I couldn't play football. My parents would not let me play football unless I went to ballroom dancing school. Imagine altcoins all sitting in chairs lined up on a wall, waiting for you to come over and say, may I have this dance? Right? Want to have a wonderful evening, and let's have a beautiful 3-month, fourth quarter romance with cryptocurrency and privacy and DeFi. I mean, do you need to fully understand everything that's going on? Actually, you don't, right? You can find out like what's green on a red day, or you can just track like, hey, what big coins are moving today? What's moving today? It doesn't have to be a meme coin. That you got big coins acting like meme coins. So you can look at CoinGecko, you can watch a show, you can take a look at this and go, okay, what is this? Oh, it's privacy. Oh, okay. Oh, it's a layer one. Ask Perplexity. What's a layer one? Oh, you run the internet on that. Yeah, you run finance and DeFi. Oh. So you mean it's like Ethereum? Oh. Right? So if you're TikToking crypto this morning, you're like, oh, wow, okay. You mean it's not complicated and all these influencers that say that you're stupid? No, you're not stupid. Now, naturally, if you'd like expert research, if you'd like to get on Zcash and Railgun and Near before everyone else, we would invite you to come on over and check out the YouTube member area where we have all kinds of fun things. We have the psychic in the YouTube member area, and we have the Wall Street analyst in Patreon, and then we have cross-pollination to be the most accurate research service over the last 2 months, bar effing none. And we would love to have you. If not, feel free to tune into the channel, right? Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. That's how you help me help you. So, Dash. I was like, what's Dash? I remember explaining this. I remember I was so cool with Dash. Like that 2020 Dash was like, oh my God, I actually said it on some big TV show. I can't, I'm sure the Eagle King, maybe he can remember who it was. I remember the guy was a big deal, like wearing a suit and tie for the show. And I was like, yeah, my number one pick is Dash. It's like they use it in Venezuela. It's up like 30% this morning. You know why? Because there's no seller, which is unbelievable because people in Venezuela mine Dash. They mine it. Their electricity's free. So everyone's got a little machine in their house mining Dash. It's still up 30% today. So who's after Dash? We don't know. But what we do know is that the market's after it. And you know what could be next is Bitcoin Cash, which I call Roger Ver coin. Like Bitcoin Cash is fast Bitcoin, right? It's exactly like Bitcoin, except it's faster. And I don't know. I have to look it up if you can run applications on it like a layer one. I don't know. But I know Bitcoin is, people are going to look at, normies are going to see, they're going to see Bitcoin at 120. They're going to see Bitcoin Cash at 500. They're going to see Dash at 46. They're going to see Zcash at 200. And they're going to go, wow. I could get 2 Zcash and 1 Bitcoin Cash. I could be a whole coiner. They're even after Litecoin, which is hysterical because as predicted, Charlie Lee, the founder of Litecoin, comes out and says, I wish I had never invented Litecoin, and I wish I had just told everybody to buy Bitcoin. And what happens when they get bearish their own project? What happens? The people who love it hate it. So if the people who love it hate it, it can only go up, right? I mean, if the people who are supposed to own it hate it, who's the seller when it goes up? Nobody. No, I'm not trying to tell you to, dance the night away with Litecoin, but I am trying to get you to see, Toby Ward has a particular analogy for how she looks at coins from a romance and relationship point of view, naturally, you can join the YouTube member area and hear all about it. But if you look at what is moving here, crypto is winding itself up for a giga rally. Like yesterday, Zcash up 40%. And I understand why people are upset that the number one AI token, used to be Fetch, artificial super intelligence token, had a negative fundamental development, as in like the Ocean team, I guess, pulled out of the alliance. Now, my attitude is they're selling it into the discount zone, and all the bad news may be out. I'll have to do my work and check with Toby. But that's what everyone was focused on. Right? People who are owning that were upset. And of course, anyone who's got a coin that's not going up, they're upset. Because you know what's going up? I call it the grayscale coins. I know Near is in their AI basket. Grayscale was the company that invented trading Bitcoin through stocks with GBTC. So in 2017, if you wanted to trade Bitcoin and you were in the stock market and you were too scared of Coinbase, you did GBTC. Now, GBTC was basically put down by BlackRock and IBIT, at which point Grayscale goes, great, we'll just pivot to altcoins. We'll make a GBTC style product for AI, Near, Zcash, whatever. They've got a couple of them. I know they have Zcash. How long do you think it's going to take for people to figure this out? Near, I remember once upon a time in 2020, our fundamental guys were so in love with like Near Tech. Like what Near does on the blockchain is like, it's literally mind-boggling. Our guys were like, oh my God, thank God we got it at 10 or 9, because I think it wound up going to 25, and then it went to 50 cents, and it's currently at 3. And I'm going to hear all this double talk from people. Well, it's up 10%, so I can't buy it. And one of the smartest things that Jim Cramer said, that he's ever said, he was standing outside the New York Stock Exchange in 2009 after the equity market had like vaporized. Like the main indexes were down 40 or 50% from their highs, but individual names just destroyed. And then, of course, after a big decline, you're going to see a stock that, a stock that lost half of its value, right? If a stock goes from 50, right, to 30 or 15, when that stock goes from 15 to 20, that's a huge percentage move. That's, that's like 25%. So everyone looks at their screen and sees things up 25 and 30% and goes, oh, I can't do that. I can't buy Near up 10%. I can't touch that. And Cramer just told everybody, and I'll never forget. He's like, listen, this whole thing about like, I can't buy a destroyed stock up 25%. You take that and you throw it out the window. And man, he was right as rain. I was like, oh my God, this thing is going up. They had this thing back then called quantitative easing. We didn't really understand what it was. Well, now we understand what it is. And the Fed may be putting high-powered money in the system on top of it. And I don't care what anybody says. Toby doesn't think so, and neither do the chatbots. There's an event in New York City, first week in November. Hello, right? Like, is their money, and your money, their money? And what did the guy from Telegram just say? It's like, hey, I'm 40 years old and I'm upset. I'm not happy about the internet. They have Toncoin, right? How long before this all spreads into that? Because that's something that no one understands, is hard to buy, and no one owns. I call it the Kusama effect. You're like, what's Kusama? I don't know. It was like a Polkadot test net. Nobody understood how to get it. And of course, that along with Polkadot, no one understood Polkadot in 2020, 2021. Nobody knew what interoperability was. Nobody knew what a parachain was. Boom. Gone. Now, it went all the way up and went all the way back down, but these projects are still there. And if we're building a whole new world, which is what the privacy coins are telling you, which is what the antivirus universe, Janice McAfee, and the people who invented all this stuff, they didn't invent the coins. They invented the reason to use those coins and cryptocurrency in general. John McAfee wrote the Declaration of Cryptocurrency Independence. When you take your kids to the crypto Smithsonian, right, to see like crypto punks on the wall, you will walk by the display case or a statue or something, a memorial of McAfee, who wrote the Declaration of Cryptocurrency Independence. Given this is a short show, I won't read it to you. I'm probably already over time as it is. But this market's for real. And now would be a really good time to A, understand that, B, not get wound up about dips, declines, whatever. It's all a distraction. It's a distraction from what's happening here. And what's happening here, ladies and gentlemen, is epic. Chris Frank looking for antivirus season soon. Yes, it's a question of time before they get through on their message, on tokenomics, I mean, seriously, not shilling any one particular product. It's about privacy leading this market. Charlie the Positive Cat, Hal Lopez, DNT Saver, members, welcome. Wolf Riot Star in the house. PDA, a member, a new member. Welcome to the show. Hal Lopez. I followed you on Twitter, brother. Appreciate you getting up in the middle of the night to watch the show. Right? Fuzz Crypto, CC. Right? Yes. I just had to move on and do my own thing, bro. I just had to do my own thing. Gaseous Clay, Bull Runner in the house. Douglas Earhart, Scott Lawrence, Rave Song Records, MJ Hits, dude, Rail. A couple guys asking about Rail. It's a Toby pick. Oh my God. I had no idea the candle you had in these things. Thing you got to watch out for, like I said, you take a little bit of money off the table and everyone's like, well, I'll buy the dip later. Yeah, well, you know what? You've gotten a dip. It's called the last 12 months. Seriously. I saw some guy on Twitter today basically showing the gold chart, the S&P chart. He's like, yeah, stay away from altcoins. They're radioactive. I've been telling you this for 15 months. I bet that guy is like loading a wheelbarrow full of altcoins. Stephen Jeske, a member, welcome, sir. Bob the Bruce. Shelly, a member, what's up? Joe Morris, Mark, right? Flabba Jabba, I am losing on XRP. What is going on? Sir, what is going on is that they push you out, they make you depressed, they get you distracted, and then boom. This is like classic bull market because everyone knows it's coming. Literally, I mean, everybody understands that this is what should happen. I think we're all in agreement. We're just upset because for 10 months, it's not happening. And as a public service announcement, the gold and silver guys have waited 10 years with horrible price action, with Bitcoin mooning and stocks mooning. And they sat there for 10 years. They were a joke. They were a joke. Now they're the ones getting the last laugh. PWD, welcome. Yes, Daddy. The Crypto Plumber is here. Felix, Nikki, what's going on? Right? Near supported Zcash when it was getting delisted from Coinbase. Well, Zcash is back now. Zcash is also on Gemini. You got to watch out for Gemini listing a lot of privacy coins. Privacy coins are going to get listed. How many DeFi coins you got on Coinbase? Ask yourself this question, right? I mean, what do you got? You got big ones, Synthetics, Chainlink, Maker, right? All the big ones. Compound, I bet they're all there. I bet Balancer is still there. All of the DeFi protocols, Aave, for God's sakes, they're all listed on Coinbase. Felix is like, this market is horrible. Yes, sir, it is. That's how you know it's a bottom. Do you feel bad? If you're long and you feel horrible, it's a bottom, right? Because, I mean, you would be just like, oh, God, take this crypto. Get this away from me. I feel so much better. You got to live with the tension. That's why you get paid for waiting. Everyone's like, well, you know, because I say this all the time. You know, Toby says it too in her own way. He's like, you know what? You have to wait. You have to wait. Okay. Yeah. Except what does waiting involve? Waiting involves looking at your bag with like mold growing on it, like, you know, cheese you left in the fridge for 2 months, right? You're just looking at it and go, oh my God, this is awful. Get this away from me. Yeah, you have to sit with that. You get paid to sit with that, which is why a guy like Stan Druckenmiller, okay, goes, yeah, we get paid to sit around, read, and think. Now, we don't trade. Well, they might, but, you know, they think, they sit, they read, they wait. If you waited in Zcash, if you waited in Dash, if you waited in all these obscure coins, how you doing right now? Okay, crypto scam is here. Okay, so Okie Benjamin, hello. Farmer Sam Forrest, Chris Frank, Tishepo, welcome. I think I got everybody. I got DNT Saver in there. So that was the longest 30-minute live stream in the history of 30-minute live streams. That's the market update. The Eagle King's probably like, WTF. We'll see you tomorrow or later or whatever. Take care.